So we're filming this at the beginning of December. What is it about that January mindset that makes people feel like the changes need to happen with like a clean calendar?
I don't know. We've talked about this in some of the previous podcasts about, waiting till the first of the month, waiting till January to start versus just start tomorrow, start today, like just go. Don't wait. I don't know what it is about, and I'm sure it's marketing and all kinds of people that are pushing this narrative that time is running out or time won't start or nothing matters, nothing accumulates, or everything starts over in 3 weeks, so you might as well sandbag. I mean, there's all kinds of things that's being pushed on us when really, like, just go. Just start.
We've talked about this in the past where the planning itself feels like the doing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made the list. Feels like you're accomplishing something. Could that be a little bit of what people are feeling of like, oh, these are all the changes I want to make? And then that feels like enough of an accomplishment so that it feels like they're moving forward, but that's an illusion, right?
It is illusion, and we've had some exercises in the past with, leadership team and companies that I've worked with where we've said, "Okay, the calendar year is gonna start in January, and this is our goal that we're gonna accomplish starting in January. But let's take these next 60 days." We usually started 100 days before the goal was gonna start, and we'd say, "What do we need to prepare? What do we need to do? What do we need to set up so that we hit the ground running at goal start date, January 1st in this example, so that we're not going, 'Oh, we should have updated the spreadsheets. Oh, we needed to tweak this process or create this form or create the thermometer that we're measuring with,' whatever the thing is. Let's go ahead and do all of that pre-work so we do hit the ground running when we start so that you're not as far behind. So even if you're gonna wait till the beginning of the month or the first of the year, do any prep work that needs to be done in between this time. You're still taking action. You're just not counting or, measuring until you start the time frame that you're looking at. It's really easy, I think, to start
Yeah.
breaking down what went wrong. Where did I fail? Where did I miss? What did I not do? And on the flip side of that, if you start evaluating, like, what did you do well? And not just that you did it well, what happened? What were the steps? What was your preparation for it to be executed well? And then replicate that versus looking at the things that didn't work. And, you can beat yourself up on those things, make yourself feel bad, lose confidence in what you're doing, lose direction. And instead of doing that, look at what you did do well. And then, like I said, scale and replicate and apply that in different areas where you did miss.
Looking back at your past year, what's a win that stood out? And what do you think were some of the ingredients that made that thing work?
Just one, huh?
There's so many. Wow.
This one. So one of the wins that had was the office that I was predominantly responsible for in real estate. They did not have a lot of office activity. A lot of the agents didn't come in, and so that was reflected in different metrics that we measure in real estate. Gina and I decided to be more consistent, reach out, do the hard work on inviting people, not just, "Hey, we miss you. Come into the meeting this week," or, "Hey, it was good to see you. Hopefully, we'll see you next week." Those type of touches. For my sake, making sure that I'm developing and writing and coming up with like content or topics that the agents were intrigued about and making sure you're creating an environment where they feel comfortable to share and be engaging because they all want to hear from each other. They really don't want to hear from me. But as the leader of that office, I set the tone for that type of environment where they feel comfortable sharing and talking. So we have 60 agents in our office, and at our most recent business meeting, we had 52 people there. So like that is outstanding from an engagement piece that started really, really low at the beginning of the year. And then at the end of the year, we had a bunch of people there. So we were really, really excited about that. Like it's standing room only in our business meetings, which is fun for us. It makes Gina and I really, really happy. And it feels good that, they've got a whole bunch of places they can be on Tuesday mornings between 9:30 and 10:30, and they want to be there with us. And that feels good. And I think it feels good for everybody else in the room too. So that's a win for sure.
And it's cool to hear you break down the ingredients to that because I feel like sometimes when we look back on wins, we just get caught up in the end result instead of like thinking about all the things that led up to that. Why do you think those action items were the ones that worked?
I think those action items worked, one, because Gina and I were really clear on who was doing what to get the end result. She knew where her lane was, and I know where my lane is. We had to just be consistent and continue to do it. So those first weeks in January and February, it was just me, Gina, and like 5 other people for a little while. But we didn't throw in the towel and stop. We just kept going and kept going and kept doing the same thing. And we didn't have, 80, 11 different things we wanted to focus on to get engagement back up. We chose 2 or 3, and then we just focused on those and then didn't give up on those 2 or 3 things all year all year long. And, in some of with my previous guests, we've talked about how important that is for having agents come in the office and being engaged because of the ripple effect that occurs. People wanna be around people who are busy. I want people to be around people who are busy because activity breeds activity, and there's something very infectious and contagious around being around activity, being around people who are busy and have stuff going on,
It's like
and
the gym.
it is like the gym, and, you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and in real estate, they're all independent contractors. And we hope for one, maybe we can get 2 times a week where we have the agents come into the office to get them to feed off of each other's energy. And so that sales meeting is a really, really important one because of the ripple effect that it has on so many other things on office culture,
Collaboration.
collaboration, agents feeling like they're a part of the team and they're not isolated, they're not on their own. If you choose, things that are in your plan that are small enough that you can execute on them when the market's going great, when the market's going bad. When I'm sick, we still have a business meeting. When Gina's sick, we still have a business meeting. Like those still things occur. We still had weekly meetings the Tuesday after Labor Day, the Tuesday after Memorial Day. They weren't high content. I gave myself some grace on not having the bestest slide deck ever for those meetings and was prepared for it to just be me and Gina and 3 other people if it needed to be, but it didn't matter. We were still having on it. And, there's a level of trust that gets built with the agents and with everybody in the office when there is consistency and dependability on this is happening regardless. I know it's going to be there. All that's going to be good. It's kind of like family dinner with a lot of families have some weight and some importance because, we always get together Sunday after church or Friday nights or Wednesday evenings, whenever that is. They have that time where they come together, they break bread, they talk about what's going on and they talk about what's happening in the future. You have that piece of engagement, that trust is built. That same thing happens at a weekly business meeting. So this is just the one thing that you asked me to break down that was a win for this week. And there's just so many positive ripple effects that comes out of that consistent, let's get everybody together opportunity. That's why I think that is the biggest win from this past year for me. And it starts with being able to lead yourself first. If you can't be accountable to the boundaries you put in place for yourself, the things that you say you are or are not going to do, that start there first, and then that trickles out to, I'm gonna lead this environment, I'm gonna lead my family, I'm gonna lead my team in other ways, but it starts with you, and your consistencies, your discipline, it can all look different. Not everybody needs to go to the gym 5, 7 days a week for it to be consistent. Maybe it's just, I'm gonna consistently wake up at the same time every day. I'm going to consistently say yes to things that help me be the better version of myself and say no consistently to the things that detract from me being the better version of myself. But all good leaders that you can think about in history, they had some level of self accountability. And then that
I agree.
matriculates out, yeah, into other people go, okay, yes, that's rubbing off on me. I always think that start small. Don't start with 12 things I want to be consistent on today or this week. Start with one. We've talked a lot about, time blocking or time activating, and you don't have to have like this perfect Erin Condren type calendar. The first time you start trying to make a plan for yourself, just make a plan for one part. I'm gonna make sure I have dinner with my husband this week, and we're gonna plan on that, and then we're gonna actually do that. And then 2 weeks after you've had a weekly dinner with your husband, go, "Okay, now I want to maybe give my child a hug every time." You know what I mean? I'm being silly, but you choose. It doesn't have to be all 12 at one time. Just pick one, get really, really solid on that, and then build on it from there.
You kind of just have to like suffocate the excuses. out of getting going. There's a level of like you just have to like confront yourself before you get to do this with other people. What are like one or two questions maybe you've had to ask yourself or you've shared with other people to ask themselves on how to suffocate those excuses?
Instead of what do I need to add to accomplish this, what do I need to remove to accomplish this? Where are my friction points that I can immediately remove so this isn't as hard? I don't have as many as excuses not to do this. And one of the number one examples that comes to mind, because everybody has gone through this at some point, is wanting to lose weight. And I think a lot of people, they immediately jump to, I have to add exercise. I have to add water. I need to add going to the gym or add doing Pilates or stretching, whatever you're going to do, instead of going, all right, maybe when I go to grocery store this week, I'm not going to buy all the potato chips. I'm not going to
Kit Kat.
buy the Kit Kats, right? I'm not going to buy the Cokes. Like remove those points of friction so that when you are at home and you do get hungry, you're not grabbing the potato chips, you're going for something else that you have. So what do I need to remove friction? I've posted several times on my Instagram page about I needed to get up and walk, but I didn't feel like it. So I just put on flip flops just to get out the door. I knew if I had to put on my socks and put on my shoes, I would create these excuses for myself to not get out there and walk. So I just might or might not have had my pajamas on with the pullover and my flip flops out walking in West Homewood, but I just needed to go. And so it was just the easiest way to get out there.
Oh my gosh, it's like what's the path of least resistance?
What is the easiest? What is the most frictionless way to get something done?
Because adding something is such a high lift, right?
Well, and how many times do you not use a website because it's taken too many clicks for you to get there? Like, why would you want to make your environment that's helping you make positive decision, positive choices, be the best version of you? And if it takes you 18 clicks to get water, I'm not drinking any water. I'm going to go for the 1-click soda that's sitting right there or the 2-click glass of wine that's sitting right there, right? If it takes too long or it's too hard.
How do we Amazon hydration?
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Well, and Amazoning hydration starts with like just carrying around a water bottle, like just carry it around with you. But so we're talking about health, but the work version of that is remove the friction for things that you need to do at the office. So if your friction that you have is we have a hard time, starting on time, or we have a hard time, getting people in there, remove the friction for people have to get there. Oh, it's too early in the morning, or I have to drop my kids off, start the meeting later. Get everybody to get there at 10. You've removed everybody's friction from having that happen. I don't know if I can eat breakfast, or I'm always hungry. Great. We'll have a sponsor that's got food there. So you're removing all of the friction that's keeping the people from coming in. I get in there and I don't learn anything, or I only hear the people talk. There are a lot of different coaches. You can call me. I'll help you come up with content for a sales meeting that you can create some engaging opportunities for agents to get in there and let them feel like they can share, feel like they've been heard, and leave with something of value from that week. Our sales meeting or an edutainment opportunity, it's education and entertainment. We want them to feel good when they leave. And so creating opportunities for the agents to feel that way, for you to feel that way. If you don't want to attend your own sales meeting, some changes need to be made. So what type of meeting do you want to attend? Your agents feel the same way.
And the agents will feel that you're like stoked to be there too. And I'm sure there'll be energy transfer there as well.
Yes. Have a dynamite playlist every single sales meeting because it gets me pumped up to like talk and to get everybody fired up. I want them to run through a brick wall by the time they're ready to leave the business meeting because they're so fired up and they feel good and they want to repeat that next Tuesday.
Less friction, less excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going.
Yeah. Well, friction and excuse is almost like interchangeable.
Same. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. The friction is the action around the mental excuse. I'm not going to do this because I can't drop off my kids in time.
Let's move the time.
Move the time.
So I hate how easy
know
it
that
is.
sounds dumb, but
It's not.
But it's a real excuse that we hear. Hey, I can't get the kids. Traffic, like, all okay. Then we don't have to meet at 8.
Yeah.
Let's make it 9. Let's make it 9:30. You can even make it 10.
It's in your control.
Yeah.